Now I think Burt Reynolds' legacy will be one of the most charming movie stars in the history of Hollywood. Definitely owns a period of time, the early 70s through the, almost the mid 80s. Burt Reynolds, more than most other stars, had a connection with his audience. He knew who his audience was. He knew what they liked, and he knew what they liked to see him do. And he tried to do other things, and they pretty much always told him, no, we don't like you in this. We like you in this. How many genuine movie stars are left anymore? All right. I mean, if somebody were to come along like Burt Reynolds was in 1974, that would be really exciting, but I don't see that happening. I think the first actual Burt Reynolds movie I saw was probably Deliverance. Eventually, when I met Burt, we had a conversation about Deliverance. Oh, and I also make another case, and the other case is, while story integrity-wise, it works well to sideline Burt Reynolds' Lewis character, but the movie can't afford him being sidelined that much. When they pass it to John Voight does not carry it. Even, okay, give me a break. All right, yes, he has that one big moment, but my God, a moment of suspense. It's thrown away. That could have been one of the most suspenseful moments in the movie. Is Lewis going to say the right thing in the cop interrogation?
Yes.
And it's barely a moment. No, I like the idea that it worked. It did not work for me at all. It was half-assed, but it worked for you.
You ready, Roy?
I was born ready.
I've always got a kick out of his movies. And I agree with it. I think Smokey and the Bandit is actually one of the most entertaining movies ever made.
And it's like 30-page outline for the movie.
Yeah. I mean, and one of the things about it is, other than like the charm of Burt Reynolds and Sally Field and all that.
These are my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And these are my legs.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so charming. I mean, other than them, I don't know why it's so disarming. But it's one of those movies where, like, every time you commit to watching it, when it's over, like, wow, that was a good time.
Yes.
Wow, I'm sad it's over.
Holy shit!
You probably saw Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah.
Of course
I've only seen it on TV.
Yeah, of course I saw it. I saw it the weekend it opened.
That's something you would do in your time machine.
Oh, I would. I'd go to fucking Friday night.
No, I saw it at the Hawthorne 6.
No shit.
AMC Hawthorne 6. I can remember every theater I've ever seen any movie at.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then I just choose a few movies from that span of years.
Yeah.
And I write reviews about them, about like what I think about them. I usually give a lot of history about it and what I think about them, but I also have had to have seen them then. So I also talk about how my perspective, either what it was then or how it's changed, or maybe it's the same. I like writing reviews. I cannot write a review for that movie because I can't even remotely there's an alchemy to it. There's a moment in time aspect to it that makes it so incredibly enjoyable.
Yes.
That is undefinable.
Oh my God.
Dan Jenkins' early 70s football novel Semi-Tough was the book that made you want to be a writer. The 1977 movie made from it, starring Burt Reynolds, Chris Christopherson, Jill Clayburgh, and directed by Michael Ritchie.
I thought it was just hysterical. The book. And probably the dirtiest book I'd ever read at that point, but so funny. And at least at that period of time, the most dynamic first-person narration I had ever read.
Yeah, and it's the one that Burt Reynolds does kind of half-heartedly in the movie.
Half-heartedly in the film. Even though he is perfect casting as Billy Clyde Puppet. I mean, perfect. But the thing was, in the book, the whole idea is Billy Clyde Puckett is trying to write his autobiography. And so the pretext in the book is he's walking around with a tape recorder and he's just talking into the tape recorder. And they pulled it off to a fairly well. And I was like, well, if you could write a book this way, then maybe I can write a book.
He did punch out a director. You probably know what director it is.
Dick Richards. I heard a story about that knowing how set protocol is, I can't imagine it's true.
Uh-huh.
And you've been on sets, you can't imagine this is true. But apparently what happened was after he punched him out, he knocked him out. Not only did the crew not go crazy, not only was there like, oh my God, call the ambulance, not only was there not that, not only were there not producers flipping the fuck out, apparently somebody took a piece of chalk and as he's laid out on the set floor, drew a chalk outline around him and just left him there. I mean, but like knowing how a set works, I can't even imagine that. I mean, the minute people start getting angry at each other and raise voices, people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Boogie Nights. Well, one, I think Burt Reynolds is fantastic in the movie. Me and Paul have talked about this, though. I mean, I actually think there's a slight flaw in Boogie Nights, and the flaw in Boogie Nights is the perception of the Burt Reynolds character. And what I mean by that is this. Paul can say he's not based on the director Gerard Damiano, who directed Devil and Mrs. Jones and Deep Throat. He is. He obviously is. He looks exactly like him. And Gerard Damiano has a very unique look. So you have to actually make him, Burt Reynolds doesn't look like that. So you actually have to go out of your way to make him look like Gerard Damiano with the gray and black Van Dyke that he wore and the kind of wavy gray hair that he wore. That's not Burt Reynolds' look. That is Gerard Damiano's look. So he went out of his way to make the guy look like his exact double. So you can't say, I didn't mean him to be that guy. Yes, he did. Here's my problem with the film, though. Yes, I do think it's honest about being a filmmaker. But my problem with it, though, is when he makes the cop movie, the porno cop movie, and he's killing himself doing it, and then you see the film looks like a piece of shit. It looks horrible. Now, believe me, I've seen more porno movies than Paul have because I worked at the porno theater. All right. And I saw a lot of movies crappy like that. But he has the Burt Reynolds character say, I think, he says it in the full on moving the close up in him. I think this is my greatest work yet.
This is the best work we've ever done.
So I think this is my finest work yet. Gerard Damiano was a better director than that. Gerard Damiano's better footage looked drastically better than that cop crap. Yes, exactly. Gerard Damiano was a good enough filmmaker to know the difference between, oh, wow, this is the best movie I've ever done, and no, this one has a little bit of a story. But we still shot it on 16 millimeter, in crappy daylight with no light, and it looks like what it looks like. Burt Reynolds suggests that he's more of a director than that he would know the difference. Gerard Damiano definitely would know the difference, and he's playing Gerard Damiano. So I think it's a cheap line because that character would know that work is not the best work he could possibly do. Yeah, you can definitely lose perspective, but you don't think some piece of junk that you did is the best work you've ever going to do.
Burt Reynolds was going to play the part that Bruce Dern got.
Yeah, George Spahn, yeah. He was playing the part in the script reading. But Burt Reynolds, to such a degree, I mean, Burt Reynolds, the way there's acting in movies before Brando, and there's acting in movies after Brando.
Yep.
There are actors on talk shows before Burt Reynolds. And then there's actors on talk shows after Burt Reynolds. He created the whole kind of self-depreciating, non-public relations, non-publicity kind of talk that people did on talk shows. What leather suit is he going to wear tonight? But I bumped into him like a couple of times. Just before he splits, he leans into me and he goes, I love watching you on talk shows. He added a little thing at the end of it. I love you on talk shows. ... You just don't give a fuck, do you? I'm too me. That's what he's saying. I'm too me on the talk shows. Burt Reynolds is definitely somebody who knows who stuntmen are and knows all the stuntmen out there.
Right.
And so when we having our first initial talk, he goes, okay, so let me get this straight. Brad Pitt's playing the stuntman? There's no stuntman that looked as good as Brad Pitt. You're kind of pretty for a stuntman. Because Burt suggested it, he kind of had no choice. Rick wishes he was Burt Reynolds in 1969.
Well,
if he was Burt Reynolds in 1969, he has no problem.
That's true.
As far as he's concerned. And we had a break, and then Al Pacino goes over to Burt Reynolds, and they start laughing and joking and gossiping about whatever. And it was a really great moment. I even brought up to Al Pacino once about some, the alternative casting that they had. If they didn't go as Italian a route as they went with, which of course they're going to go with Francis Ford Coppola. I brought up the idea of Burt Reynolds for Sonny, and Al Pacino goes, well, Burt Reynolds wouldn't have been bad for Sonny. Because Burt would have been a good Sonny. Yes, I was named after Burt's character, Quint Aspire. She considered for a while between calling me Quentin or Burt. And my family is part Cherokee Indians, and she really liked him. And she liked the fact that he was a half-breed.